You believe you are a free agent. You believe you are the captain of your soul. You look at your hands, your bank account, and your choices, and you tell yourself that you are in control. This is a delusion. Most of you are not men, you are mechanisms. You are a biological input-output machine, currently running on a script written by strangers, executed by algorithms, and powered by your own weakness. There is a terrifying metric by which you can measure a man's actual freedom. It is not his net worth. It is not his job title. It is not the diameter of his bicep. The metric is latency. How much time passes between a stimulus and your reaction? For the vast majority of the population, that time is zero. There is no gap. There is no pause. There is no conscious thought. There is only the trigger and the immediate explosive discharge. Consider your last 24 hours. A stranger cuts you off in traffic. Your pulse spikes. You scream. A colleague makes a passive-aggressive comment. Your stomach turns. You snap back. A faceless profile leaves a negative comment on your post. You spend 20 minutes composing a defense. The news cycle drops a fresh catastrophe. You spiral into anxiety. You call this living. You call this having emotions. You call this being authentic. I call it enslavement. If a distinct external event can reliably produce a specific internal result within you, you are not a sovereign. You are a public utility. You are a vending machine. Someone puts in the coin of provocation, and you dispense the product of outrage. Do you understand the precariousness of your position? If I know what triggers you, I can pilot you. If I know that an insult to your intelligence makes you defensive, I can trap you in a debate that wastes your time. If I know that a threat to your status makes you aggressive, I can lure you into a fight you cannot win. To react is to abdicate the throne of your mind. It is a confession that your internal state is not under your jurisdiction, it is under the jurisdiction of whoever happens to be walking by at that moment. When you lose your composure, you are handing the keys to your psychological home to a vandal. You are letting the world walk into your living room with muddy boots, smash your furniture, and leave. And the worst part? You left the door unlocked. Your anger is not power. It is a leash. Society has conditioned you to believe that being offended is a virtue. We live in the era of the victim, where the one who screams the loudest about their pain is awarded the most status. We are taught that venting is healthy. We are taught that if we do not react, we are numb or cold or uncaring. This is the software of the slave class. The ancient world knew better. The masters of strategy, from the Senate floor of Rome to the war rooms of feudal Japan, understood a fundamental truth that has been deleted from your modern education. He who cares the least holds the most power. The man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. The man who absorbs an insult like a stone absorbing a drop of rain is dangerous. He is unpredictable. He is observing. While you are flailing, screaming, and expending your vital energy, he is calculating. Think of the energy you have hemorrhaged in the last year alone, the arguments that change nothing, the frustration over politics you cannot influence, the resentment toward people who do not even know you exist. This is psychological bleeding. You are bleeding out. Every reaction is a drop of blood. You are becoming anemic, weak, and brittle. You wonder why you have no energy for your purpose. You wonder why you cannot focus on your mission. You wonder why you feel constantly drained. It is because you are leaking power from 1,000 tiny holes. The modern world is an extraction machine. It is designed to mine your attention. The algorithm does not want your happiness. It wants your volatility. The news does not want to inform you. It wants to radicalize you. Your enemies do not want to defeat you logically. They want to make you emotional. because an emotional man makes mistakes. An emotional man exposes his throat. If you are listening to this and you feel a resistance rising in your chest, if you feel the need to defend your right to be angry, then you are exactly who this message is for. Pause the video, subscribe to the channel. Join the few who are willing to unplug from the machine. If you leave now, you remain a battery. If you stay, you begin the process of becoming the user. When you react, you are doing exactly what the system was designed to make you do. You are a good little battery powering the machine that crushes you. There is another way, a way that is terrifying to the weak and offensive to the loud. It is the path of the Citadel. It is the construction of a mental fortress so imposing, so fortified, that the arrows of the world simply shatter against its walls. It is the ability to stand in the center of the hurricane and light a candle without the flame flickering. We are not talking about suppression. We are not talking about bottling it up. We are talking about alchemy. We are talking about the transmutation of external chaos into internal order. We are talking about the difference between being a leaf in the wind and being the mountain that breaks the wind. To understand the cure, we must first respect the patient. When you hear the word philosopher, what image enters your mind? Do you see a soft, tenured professor in a tweed jacket debating semantics in a climate-controlled university? Do you see a hippie sitting cross-legged on a beach, preaching about good vibes and letting go? Burn these images. They are insults to the discipline. The philosophy we are discussing today was not born in a classroom. It was forged in the mud, blood, and freezing rain of the Germanic front lines. It was written by a man who had the power to burn the world down, but fought a desperate battle every single day to keep himself from being consumed by it. Marcus Aurelius, the last of the 5 good emperors, the most powerful man on the face of the earth. He held the power of life and death over millions. He commanded the legions. He controlled the treasury. If he raised a finger, cities were leveled. If he frowned, senators ended their own lives rather than face his judgment. But his life was a living hell. He did not live in a palace of luxury. He spent the majority of his reign in a tent, fighting a war that never ended. His soldiers were dying of the Antonine Plague, a pandemic that wiped out 1/3 of the empire's population. His wife was rumored to be unfaithful. His son, Commodus, was a man devoid of a soul who would eventually destroy everything his father built. His closest allies were conspiring against him. Under this crushing weight, under the stress that would break the mind of a modern man in seconds, Marcus Aurelius did not vent. He did not seek therapy. He did not scream at the sky. He wrote. He kept a private journal, a collection of notes written to himself, for himself. He never intended for you to read them. He never intended for them to be published. This book, known today as Meditations, is not a book of quotes. It is a combat manual. It is the documented evidence of a man wrestling his own shadow into submission. It is the tactical blueprint of a mind building a fortress in the middle of a war zone. Marcus identified a specific faculty of the human mind. The Greeks called it the hegemonikon, the ruling faculty, the commanding center. He realized that a man is comprised of 2 distinct parts. First, the vessel, the body, the emotions, the biology, the nerves. This part is subject to the world. It can be cut, it can be sickened, it can be triggered. Second, the sovereign, the conscious observer behind the eyes, the decision maker. Marcus realized that while he could not control the Germanic hordes attacking his borders, and he could not control the plague rotting his soldiers, he could control the hegemonikon. He writes, "The mind, when it is self-sufficient, is a fortress. The mind, without passions, is a citadel. No place is more secure." Once we take refuge there, we are safe forever. This is the concept of the inner citadel. Imagine a castle in the center of your psyche. Outside the walls, there is chaos. The peasants, your emotions, are rioting. The enemy, external insults, is firing arrows. The weather of circumstance is storming. But inside the keep, in the throne room, there is silence. The king sits on the throne. He hears the noise outside, but he does not panic. He does not run to the window to scream back at the thunder. He remains seated. He remains cold. He remains sovereign. This is the definition of sovereignty. Sovereignty is not the ability to force the world to do what you want. That is a child's fantasy of power. Sovereignty is the absolute inability of the world to force you to feel what it wants you to feel. It is the decoupling of stimulus and response. Most of you have no walls. Your castle is a ruin. When someone insults you, the arrow flies straight into your throne room and hits you in the chest. When a crisis happens, the rioters storm your gate and flip the table. You have no separation between what happened and who you are. Marcus Aurelius did not build this citadel because he was a nice guy. He built it because he was a strategist. He knew that an emotional leader is a dead leader. If he allowed the betrayal of his generals to make him bitter, he would lose the war. If he allowed the grief of losing his children to break him, Rome would fall. He viewed his own emotions not as his truth, but as physiological noise. He viewed his own anger not as righteousness, but as temporary madness. He treated his own psychology with the same ruthless discipline he treated his legions. If a thought was not useful, it was executed. If an emotion was a liability, it was exiled. We have established that the man who reacts is a slave. Now, we must dismantle the machinery of your enslavement. We must look at the code. Why is it so easy to provoke you? Why does a simple arrangement of pixels on a screen cause your physical body to flood with cortisol? Why are you so permeable? The answer lies in the mechanics of possession. There is a gap between what happens to you and what you do about it. Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the totalitarian labor camps of the 20th century, identified this gap as the last human freedom. He said, "Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." Most of you have paved over this space. You have collapsed the gap. Stimulus leads instantly to response. Insult leads instantly to anger. Threat leads instantly to fear. When you collapse this gap, you cease to be a conscious entity. You become a biological algorithm, you become predictable, and in the game of power, predictability is death. Let us be brutal. When someone provokes you and you immediately snap back, you are not defending your honor. You are revealing your shadow. The things that trigger you are not random. They are coordinates. They map directly to your deepest insecurities. Think about it. If I call you a green alien, you do not get angry. You laugh. Why? Because you know you are not a green alien. It strikes nothing within you. There is no hook. But if I call you incompetent or weak or a failure and you explode, it is because a part of you suspects I am right. Your outrage is a defense mechanism. It is a flare gun you fire to distract from the fact that the arrow pierced your armor. The man who is truly secure in his value has no need to defend it. The lion does not roar when a mouse squeaks. He does not even turn his head. If you are compelled to clap back, to set the record straight, to win the argument, it is because your ego is fragile. It is glass. And the world is full of hammers. Now, look at this from the perspective of your enemy, the Machiavellian perspective. When I want to control a man, I do not use force. Force is expensive. Force creates resistance. Instead, I use leverage. And your emotions are the levers. If I know you are insecure about your intelligence, I will subtly question your logic. If I know you are desperate for approval, I will withhold my validation. If I know you are self-righteous, I will act immorally just to watch you lose your mind. I do not need to fight you. I only need to wind you up and watch you destroy yourself. I can make you say things you will regret. I can make you sever ties with allies you need. I can make you look unstable in front of people whose respect you crave. I am not doing this. You are doing this. I am simply supplying the stimulus. You are supplying the destruction. Understand this. In every interaction, there is a flow of power. When you react to me, you transfer power to me. You are giving me your attention. You are giving me your energy. You are allowing me to occupy real estate in your brain rent-free. You are the host. The provoker is the parasite. When you rage, you feed the parasite. When you obsess, you feed the parasite. When you type that paragraph-long response, you are serving up a banquet of your own vitality to someone who hates you. This is the zero-sum game of status. When you lose your cool, you lose status. The observer does not look at the screaming man and see power. They see a child having a tantrum. They see a lack of discipline. The one who remains silent, the one who looks at the chaos with a detached, cold stare, he is the one who commands the room. The mechanism of possession is simple. The bait targets your insecurity. Your ego latches onto it to protect itself. You are pulled out of your center and into the enemy's frame. You expend energy, ruin your reputation, and weaken your position. To escape this, you must stop looking at the insult as a moral injustice. You must start looking at it as a tactical probe. The world is probing your defenses. It is knocking on your walls, looking for a loose stone. Every time you react, you shout, "Here, I am weak here, hurt me here." You must silence the signal. You must seal the crack. You must descend into your own shadow, find the parts of you that are weak, and integrate them so that they can no longer be used against you. This is not therapy. This is counter-espionage. Look at the world around you. We are living in the golden age of fragility. Never in history has a society been so comfortable, yet so easily disturbed. We have conquered famine. We have conquered the elements. We have access to the sum of human knowledge in our pockets. And yet, the average modern man is a psychological hemophiliac. If you prick him, he bleeds to death. We have constructed an outrage industrial complex. The entire digital economy is predicated on one specific transaction: trading your peace of mind for ad revenue. The algorithm is not designed to inform you, it is designed to provoke you. It is a Skinner box engineered to find the specific sequence of words that will bypass your logic and trigger your fight or flight response. Why? Because a calm man does not click. A calm man does not comment. A calm man does not share. Only the agitated man is profitable. You are being farmed. Your indignation is the crop. Consider the modern virtue of being offended. Society tells you that if you are offended, you are right, that your pain is proof of your moral standing. This is a trap. In the game of power, to be offended is to be defeated. When you declare, "I am offended," you are really saying, "I am unable to control my internal state in the face of your words." You are signaling vulnerability. You are showing the world where your armor is soft. True power is quiet. The CEO does not scream. The general does not throw a tantrum. The godfather does not raise his voice. They do not need to. They possess leverage. They possess the capacity for violence, which makes the display of violence unnecessary. Noise is the desperate attempt of the powerless to be heard. Reaction is the desperate attempt of the weak to feel strong. When you participate in this culture of outrage, you are signaling your own low status. You are broadcasting a poverty signal. Every time you engage in a meaningless debate in a comment section, you are telling the world, "My time is worth nothing. My attention is cheap. I have no mission, no purpose, and no discipline. Come, waste my life for me." And let us speak of the venting myth. Modern psychology, the kind sold in airport paperbacks, tells you that it is healthy to let it out, that you must process your anger by expressing it. This is strategic suicide. Neuroscience shows that venting anger does not dissipate it, it rehearses it. It reinforces the neural pathways of rage. It makes you more likely to be angry in the future. When you vent, you are not cleaning the wound, you are infecting it. You are taking a momentary tactical failure and turning it into a personality trait. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. Seneca said, "Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured." Look at the reactors in your life. The people who are constantly upset by the news, by their boss, by the weather. Are they successful? Are they happy? Are they respected? No. They are exhausted. They are burnt out fixtures of their own drama. The mirror of the modern world reveals a hard truth. You have been trained to be a slave. You have been conditioned to believe that your feelings are the most important thing in the universe. This narcissism is your cage. The world owes you nothing. It does not owe you understanding. It does not owe you kindness. It does not owe you a safe space. The only safety you will ever have is the safety you build within your own mind. We have diagnosed the pathology. Now we hand you the scalpel. Do not mistake this for conflict resolution. We are not interested in resolving conflict with those who seek to disturb us. We are interested in neutralization. The methods I am about to give you are not social skills. They are forms of psychological asymmetry. They are designed to create a power differential so vast that your opponent does not just lose, they realize they never even had a chance to fight. To wield these weapons, you must first kill the part of you that wants to be liked. The desire to be liked is a collar. The desire to be respected is a crown. You cannot wear both. First, you must install the neurological brake, a kill switch for the ego. The moment you are provoked, when the disrespect lands, when the betrayal is revealed, your biology screams at you to move. The cortisol floods your blood. The fight response primes your muscles. You feel the physical urge to speak, to type, to act. This urge is a lie. It is a biological glitch designed for a world of tigers and spears, not a world of subtle psychological warfare. If you speak while this chemical cocktail is in your veins, you are not speaking. The chemicals are speaking through you. You are a ventriloquist's dummy for your own adrenal gland. You must violently sever the connection between your feeling and your tongue. Do not take a deep breath like you are in a yoga class. That is weak. Instead, enter the void state. This concept comes from Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest samurai who ever lived. He spoke of the void as the place where strategy is born. In the modern context, you must freeze your physical body. Do not shift your weight. Do not wring your hands. Do not blink rapidly. Become a statue. Neurochemistry dictates that the lifespan of an emotion is roughly 90 seconds if you do not feed it with thoughts. If you think, "How dare he?" you feed the fire. If you think, "I'll show him," you feed the fire. You must think nothing. Imagine yourself dead. A corpse does not care if it is insulted. A corpse does not care if it is traffic. Embrace the coldness of the grey for 90 seconds. You are not calming down, you are rebooting the system. You are waiting for the biological noise to silence itself so that the strategic mind can come online. Until the 90 seconds are up, you are under martial law. No communication in or out. Once the chemicals have subsided, you do not engage with the person, you engage with the data. You must perform the pathological dissection. Most people view an insult as an attack on their identity. This is why it hurts. The sovereign views an insult as a symptom of the attacker. When a man screams at you, he is not revealing your weakness, he is revealing his own lack of control. He is showing you his underbelly. He is bleeding status all over the floor. You must treat the provoker not as an enemy, but as a broken machine. Switch your internal monologue from victim to diagnostician. Look at them, really look at them. Why is his voice cracking? Why is he shaking? What deep, ugly wound is he trying to cover up with this noise? When you look at a man and see a scared child having a tantrum, it becomes impossible to be angry. You can only feel cold pity. And cold pity is the ultimate high ground. If someone calls you incompetent, do not defend your competence. Think, interesting. He feels so threatened by my work that he needs to verbally degrade me to feel safe. He is terrified. This is emotional displacement. You take the energy of the attack and you sidestep it, letting it fall into the empty space where your ego used to be. You do not catch the ball, you let it drop. Now, the counterattack. But we do not attack with words. Words are clumsy. Words can be twisted. We attack with the void. In physics, a vacuum is a space entirely devoid of matter. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you create a vacuum in a conversation, the other person feels a primal, desperate urge to fill it. They will fill it with explanations. They will fill it with apologies. They will fill it with their own insecurity. You must master the predatory stare. When they finish their insult, or their complaint, or their passive-aggressive jab, do not respond. Lock eyes with them. Focus on the bridge of their nose. Keep your face entirely slack. No frown, no smile, no confusion. Dead face. Count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the other person, these 4 seconds will feel like 4 hours. Their brain will panic. Did he hear me? Is he angry? Does he not care? Am I in danger? They will start to disintegrate. They will break eye contact. They will stutter. Once they break, you have 2 options. You can use the mirror, repeat their last 3 words back to them as a question, flatly, force them to explain their own insult, watch them struggle to justify the unjustifiable. Or, you can use the dismissal. After the silence, simply say, "Are you finished?" Then turn your attention back to your work. This is the ultimate insult. It signals that they are so insignificant that their strongest attack does not even register as a disruption to your day. These are not tricks. These are the behaviors of a man who has realized that his attention is the most expensive thing he owns. Why would you give it away to a fool? But we must go deeper. The stare and the mirror are tools for face-to-face conflict. But what of the subtle vampires? The ones who drain you over months and years? The family members who manipulate? The bosses who gaslight? For them, you need a more permanent architecture. You need the grey rock method. This is not about winning an interaction, it is about starving a parasite. A narcissist or a toxic personality feeds on narcissistic supply. This supply is your emotional reaction. It does not matter if the reaction is love or hatred. To them, it is all food. If you scream at them, they feel powerful. If you cry, they feel powerful. The only thing that starves them is boredom. To become the grey rock is to become the most uninteresting object in the room. When they try to provoke you with a dramatic story, you give zero energy. You say, "That's nice." When they try to bait you into an argument about politics, you say, "I haven't really thought about it." You flatten your personality. You remove all texture, all color, all hooks. You become smooth, impenetrable stone. The vampire will try harder at first. They will escalate. This is called the extinction burst. They will scream louder, poke harder, trying to get the reaction they are used to. But if you hold the line, if you remain stone, they will eventually starve. They will move on to an easier target. You have not fought them, you have simply made yourself inedible. Let us discuss the fogging technique. This is the art of agreeing with your enemy to disarm them. It is based on the martial art of Aikido, using the opponent's momentum against them. When someone insults you, they expect resistance. They expect you to say, "No, I'm not." This creates a surface for them to push against. Fogging removes the surface. If someone says, "You're being stupid," you do not argue. You say, "You might be right. I could be missing something." You have agreed with the possibility, not the reality. But in doing so, you have stolen their thunder. Where can the argument go? They cannot fight someone who is agreeing with them. You are like a fog bank. They try to punch you and their fist goes right through, hitting nothing but air. They exhaust themselves swinging at mist. This requires a complete death of the ego. You must be willing to look weak in the moment to be strong in the outcome. You must value your peace more than your pride. The final layer of the Citadel is the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. This is the spiritual mortar that holds the walls together. It is the understanding that everything that happens to you, the insults, the betrayals, the tragedies, is not just to be tolerated, but to be used. The fire uses everything you throw into it as fuel. If you throw wood into a fire, it burns. If you throw plastic, it burns. If you throw a masterpiece painting, it burns. The fire does not discriminate. It turns everything into itself. The sovereign mind is a fire. When an enemy attacks you, he is giving you an opportunity to practice patience. When a crisis hits, it is an opportunity to practice resilience. When you are ignored, it is an opportunity to practice humility. You must become an alchemist of circumstance. There is no bad weather for the Citadel. There is only weather. The man who complains about the rain is a fool. The rain does not care. The man who opens his mouth to drink the rain is a survivor. The man who builds a reservoir to catch the rain and water his crops is a king. You must stop waiting for the world to be nice to you. It will never be nice to you. The universe is indifferent. Entropy is the norm. Order is the exception. You are the creator of order. You are the island of structure in an ocean of chaos. This brings us to the most difficult truth of all. The reason you react, the reason you are so easily piloted by others, is because you do not know who you are. You have no code. You are a leaf blowing in the wind because you have no roots. You define yourself by how others treat you. If they treat you well, you are happy. If they treat you badly, you are sad. You are a mirror reflecting the world. You must become a source of light. You must define your own value, independent of the marketplace. You must sit in a room, alone, without your phone, without the distraction of the internet, and ask yourself, what do I stand for? What are my non-negotiables? What is the hill I am willing to die on? If you do not have a hill you are willing to die on, you will die in a ditch for nothing. Once you have a code, the opinions of others become irrelevant. If a man calls you a liar, but you know your code is truth, his words are just noise. If a man calls you a coward, but you know your code is courage, his words are wind. The Citadel is built on the foundation of self-knowledge. You cannot defend a kingdom you haven't mapped. We have reached the end of the briefing. You now possess the blueprints to the Citadel. But a blueprint is not a fortress. A blueprint is merely paper until it is paid for in sweat, discipline, and the sheer force of will. Do not think that because you have listened to this, you are cured. You are not. The virus of the modern mind is deep. The neural pathways of your slavery have been reinforced for decades. Tomorrow, the world will test you. The algorithm will try to bait you. A fool will try to provoke you. Disaster will strike at your borders. In that moment, you will have a choice. You can return to the factory, you can scream, cry, and bleed your power into the mud. You can be just another screaming face in the crowd, begging to be heard, begging to be validated. Or you can remember who you are. You can remember the Citadel. There is a secret that the loud and the chaotic will never understand. Power does not make noise. Power is the hum of the server room, not the click of the keyboard. Power is the gravity that holds the planets, not the asteroid that crashes and burns. When you become unprovokable, you become dangerous. People will sense a change in you. They will try to shake you, and when they fail, they will begin to fear you. They will realize that they no longer have access to your control panel. They will realize that you have become sovereign. Do not seek to silence the world. That is a fool's errand. The world will always be noisy. Seek to silence the response. Let the insults come. Let them break against your silence like water against a cliff. Let the chaos swirl around you. Watch it with the cold, detached interest of a god watching an anthill. You are no longer a mechanism. You are a man. You are no longer a slave to the stimulus. You are the master of the response. The door to the cage is open. The strings have been cut. Walk out. The world does not reward the harmless. The world fears the unshakable. If this briefing has armed you, if you feel the weight of the armor settling on your shoulders, then you know what to do. The cold awakening is not for the masses, it is for the remnant. The few who are willing to open their eyes in the dark. Like the video to signal your allegiance, subscribe to join the ranks. And if you are truly ready to dismantle the programming of the slave mind, check the link in the description for the advanced protocols. We are building a network of sovereigns. The question is, are you one of us? Or are you just another face in the crowd waiting to be told what to feel? The choice is yours. But remember, not choosing is also a choice. And it is the choice of a slave. Wake up